Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Nick Calabrese. I'm the state representative in the 15th District of Ohio. Today, the Romney campaign dispatched Tim Pawlenty and Bobby Jindal to Parma to distort the president's record. But one thing is absolutely clear. All the political spin and rhetoric in the world can't hide the fact that Mitt Romney was an outsourcing pioneer at Bain Capital, one who shipped jobs overseas to make a fortune for himself and his stakeholders. They can't hide the fact that he shuttered plants and fired workers to make a profit and led Massachusetts to a rank of 47 out of the 50 states in job creation during his tenure as governor. And lastly, Governors Jindal and Pawlenty can't hide the fact that Romney advocated for letting the auto industry go bankrupt, devastating the 1 in 8 jobs in Ohio that depend on it. President Obama bet on the American worker. He bet on American manufacturing ingenuity, and now American auto manufacturing is back on top of the world. 1 in 8 jobs in Ohio are connected to the auto industry. 1 in 8. And now Chrysler, Ford, and GM are all profitable for the first time since the 90s. General Motors, Parma's largest employer, is once again the world's #1 automaker, thanks in large part to President Obama. For months, Mitt Romney has been running on his record as a businessman. He claims that running Bain Capital, a financial buyout company, gives him the experience that our country needs as a president. But Mitt Romney's record in business isn't one of growing businesses and growing companies for jobs in America. No, it's one of broken promises and shattered dreams for thousands of hardworking Americans. After months of avoiding questions about his record as an outsourcing pioneer, as a corporate buyout specialist at Bain Capital, Mitt Romney has finally admitted that the companies he invested in and profited from, making millions of jobs, were for jobs making overseas, not in the United States. The bottom line was that Bain was always about making money for Romney and his stakeholders, not about creating jobs for hardworking middle-class Americans. In fact, Romney invested in companies that led a national outsourcing trend. And under Romney's leadership, Bain Capital invested in companies engaged in low-cost production overseas. The Washington Post recently reported that the companies Romney invested in and owned were pioneers in shipping American jobs overseas. Romney has not stood up to China on jobs. He's actually done the opposite. He sent our jobs there, and he fails to stand up to Ohio on trade policies as well. When President Obama imposed tariffs on the tires that the Chinese were dumping into our market, Romney criticized the president, calling it bad for our nation and bad for our workers. Tell that to the Ohio workers who now have jobs. Tell that to our Ohio manufacturers who can compete with anyone in the world, so long as it's on a level playing field. If Mitt Romney was really going to stand up to China on day one, as his multiple advertisements say, it would be the first day in his life he ever did so. It is clear that he will not stand up to China. All Romney has ever done is send China our jobs and his wealth overseas to China. And let's not forget that Mitt Romney was comfortable in investing $1.5 million of his own money in China instead of right here in America, instead of right here in Ohio and throughout the Midwest and throughout our nation. Until, of course, those investments didn't look so good once he started running for president. It's no wonder that now, as a candidate for president who's desperately trying to appeal to our voters in Ohio, that he's changed his tune, and now he's claiming he's ready to stand up to China on jobs. It is our duty as good Ohioans to make sure we get our voice out there and let the truth be known about Mitt Romney and his job policy, and stop him from sending those jobs overseas. It is now my pleasure to turn it over to my good friend Harriet Applegate, Executive Secretary of the North Shore Federation of Labor. And again, I thank everybody for coming out and welcoming you to Ohio's seventh largest city.
Thanks, Nick. Well, Mitt Romney proves time and again that he stands against America's workers. President Obama has proven that he is a fighter for hardworking Ohioans and Americans across this country. While it is clear that President Obama will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with America's workers, Romney is completely out of touch with middle-class Americans, and he doesn't know how to create jobs for them either. his idea of job creation is to fire teachers, firefighters, and police officers, the people who are the backbone of our communities. No matter what Mitt Romney thinks, the people of America and the people of Ohio want cops on the beat, firefighters at the ready, and teachers in the classrooms. Governor Romney has taken cues from the Republican playbook and Governor Kasich to divide and conquer, standing 110%, that's quote, behind issue 2, Governor Kasich's extreme attempt to rob firefighters, teachers, and public workers of collective bargaining. Dispatching this pair of Republican cronies to Parma is just one more clear sign that Mitt Romney is out of touch with Ohio's middle class and wants to go back to the failed economic policies of the past that drove our economy into the ground in the first place. What's more, it's ironic for me to appoint Governor Pawlenty for this assignment, given that Pawlenty fully supported Kasich's unprecedented attack on teachers, police officers, firefighters, and other public employees. Ohioans soundly defeated issue 2 at the ballot last November, but Romney continues to attack our firefighters, police, and teachers, just like he did in Massachusetts when he was governor. If he had his way, Mitt Romney would make issue 2 a nationwide problem. Jindal, Pawlenty, and Romney are the perfect triumvirate for robbing workers of their rights, undermining our economic recovery, and hurting the middle class. In stark contrast, the president believes the economy grows not from the top down, but from the middle class out. And he has an economic plan to do that. A plan that focuses on education, energy, innovation, infrastructure, and a tax code that creates American jobs and pays down our debt in a way that is balanced. We need a president who stands up and fights for the middle class. And that is why we are looking forward to welcoming President Obama to Parma this evening. And with that, we'll open it up for questions.
Any questions? We can't answer any questions about the list 19.
And you are State Rep Nick Celebrezzi.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.